Hey everybody, this is Miss Florida Hot Picks here, giving you guys your Pick 3 Georgia workout using the Tic Tac Toe. I had quite a few requests, and I wanted to share with you, just going back a couple of days, how you guys may want to start looking at your Tic Tac Toe boards, okay? So we're going to start with going back to September 22nd. You guys have 3 draws per day. That's why you see so many Tic Tac Toes here. But that's okay. I want to share with you some areas that you may want to look in directly, and hopefully you can get some really cool combinations from. Okay, I'm going to tell you up front that I want you guys to make sure you're playing on paper first. Don't just go out and spend the money. I want you to study and practice. Okay, all right. So let's go to September 22nd. You guys had your midday hit, I believe, was 532. Okay, I have a +1 and -1. We'll talk about how to put those together in just a second. For your evening hit, you guys had a 258. Okay, and for your night hit, you guys had a 043, all on September 22nd. Okay, so how do we put these tic-tac-toe boards together? Okay, I may have some newbies on here that don't know how to do that, so let's show you really quickly how to count them. So once you're putting in your hit, right now I'm using the slanted version, meaning I'm putting in the hit slanted, starting from that left corner all the way to the bottom right. Okay, so we have 532. I'm going to start from that, again, top left corner to the bottom right corner, and then I'm simply going to add the number 1 all the way across the board to fill in the tic-tac-toe grid. So 532, starting at the 2. Okay, that's your starting point. 2 + 1 is 3, 3 + 1 is 4, 4 + 1 is 5, 5 + 1 is 6, 6 + 1 is 7, and 7 + 1 is 8. Okay, you're literally just going around adding 1. But I also subtract 1, and there's a reason for it. If you guys have been keeping up with the other videos, you may see something on addition, or you may see something on subtraction. So it just depends on the flow of the numbers. I like to do both to compare. Okay, so again, we're going to start with that 532. Now we're going to what? Subtract 1. Okay, so starting with that 2. Okay, 2 - 1 is 1. 1 - 1 is 0. Now we're going to take the 0, turn that into a 10. 10 - 1 is 9. 9 - 1 is 8. 8 - 1 is 7. 7 - 1 is 6. Okay, so once we have everything put together, we're going to be looking for a couple of things. So after the day is complete, make sure you guys go back and pull out your mid, evening, and night. Okay, that way you can compare. One thing I will notice about a lot of these hits, they're coming the next day. There's some that lag on and may come a couple days later, but I'm noticing for the most part they're coming literally the next day. Can I guarantee that? No. So again, I want you to play on paper and study. Make sure you're tracking. All right, now there are other ways to use tic-tac-toes. I'm very sure of that. You use the way that you feel comfortable with. Hopefully you can still spot some really cool patterns. Okay, all right. The first thing I'm training you guys to do is find triples and false triples. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because there could be some really cool patterns coming off of that. There's a lot of numbers here, and you don't want to confuse yourself, right? You don't want to overwhelm yourself with this. But starting out, I'm always trying to look for where the eye needs to go, and I'm always looking at doubles and either triples or false triples. Now let's get into mirror numbers really quickly. How many of you use the mirror numbers? Some folks don't, and that's okay. That's up to you. We do here and in our wonderful membership. Okay, so with that, I'm going to show you what the mirror numbers are in case you're new and you don't know what they are. You're going to hear a lot of that. Okay, now with the mirror numbers, you have to pay attention to this because you may miss what a triple and false triple will be. You know, when we say like a 333 or a 444, those are straight triples, but sometimes they're not always like that. Look at this. You got a 338. Notice how I marked the 8 as well. You're like, well, what did you mark the 8 for? Because 3 and 8, they're actually the same number. They're just opposite of each other. So this is what we call a false triple. It's almost like saying 333, but there's a mix here. Okay, so really quickly, okay, so your mirror numbers are as follows. A 0 could be a 5, or 5 could be a 0. A 1 could be a 6, 6 could be a 1. A 2 could be a 7, 7 could be a 2. 3 could be an 8, 8 could be a 3. 4 can be a 9, and a 9 can be a 4. Okay? All right? So make sure that you guys know that. Those are your mirror numbers. Okay? Make sure you guys can see that. All right? So like I said, 3 and 8, those are your mirrors. Some people may skip over this and don't understand this is a false trip. That's why I'm making sure I share those mirror numbers with you guys, okay? Make sure you have them. So I noticed them on the grid of the 5, 3, 2, okay? And I noticed that in your night game with the 4, 4, 9. Now, what I like about these grids, when you see them, sometimes hits will go straight across. I noticed the bottom numbers specifically could be really hot, okay? So I want you to pay attention to 5, 3, 2. Look at this 3, 3, 8 here. Look at the bottom numbers 7, 8, 2, okay? Pay close attention. I'm noticing they're either having hits come like literally around or maybe sometimes across. But what I like about this is kind of like a blocking area, kind of showing you, hey, pay attention to some of the numbers, okay? All right, so look at this 7, 8, 2. Now be careful. Even though they're going straight across, you notice there's a mirror of that number there, right? So I'm looking at the bottom, okay? That's like my hot area whenever you see these false triples, all right? Pay attention to this area as well. There will be more patterns. I'm just going to warn you. I'm just sharing the basic one with you. So look at this 7, 8, 2. I would probably write that down, but also use its mirror 7, 3, 2. Okay? This is why you need to know what the mirrors are. Okay? Well, if you did and you held on to that for like a day, I know. The next day, September 23rd, you guys' evening game 723 hit. Okay, so what did we do here? We noticed that there was a false trip here. I noticed just by looking at the patterns, one of the patterns would be the numbers going literally across, right? But there's an option to mirror, and when you have an option to mirror that middle digit, I would, right? So 7, 8, 2 was an option. 7, 3, 2 was an option. 7, 2, 3 actually hit the next day, your evening game. Very nice, Georgia. Very nice indeed. All right, so we're going to mosey over here to the night game, okay? So this is still September 22nd. Remember, you guys have 3 draws per day. And you guys had a hit of 0, 4, 3. For this Tic Tac Toe, I noticed the false trip as well. How do we know? 4 and 9, they're actually mirrors, right? Okay. So again, I would do the same thing. I noticed here, I said, okay, well, there's the 8, 9, 3 that goes across. I would write that down. And then I would also go 8, 4, 3. Okay? Give yourselves options to mirror. Well, the night game, believe it or not, the September 23rd, the night game 8, 9, 3 hit. And it hit exact, which is really cool. It hit exact. Okay? So again, you will see more patterns. You'll see more things. Trust me when I tell you. You'll see more, but hopefully this will start you off in the right direction. Okay? Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you, just like you see those false trips, there can always be another pattern, and I always look for other patterns as well, because there's multiple patterns going on within states. A lot of people don't know that. They don't understand that, because you're not going to see the same thing every day. You may not see triples and false triples every day. Okay, here's another thing I want you guys to pay attention to, and I notice with a lot of states, if you notice, even with the triples, pay attention to the center column. Are there doubles or mirrors in that center column? You guys may want to pay attention, even if you're outside of Georgia and you're looking for ideas. Make sure you guys start paying attention to your centers, okay? Sometimes they may not be connected to a triple or false triple. Sometimes they're just doubles or mirrors just because it's a hot area, okay? Now, I want you to pay attention to this. Whenever you guys see doubles, this could be a strategy, especially if you think doubles could be coming your way the next day, okay? pay attention to this 5, 5. You notice this 5, 5, right? Whenever you guys see doubles in your middle column, make sure you, this could be telling you the doubles will be coming the next day, could be, right? And you may want to use the numbers surrounded, okay? So literally, you may want to put those combinations together, like 5, 5, 6, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5, 4, just wherever it touches, which is going to touch literally all the numbers. 5, 5, 2. There's another 5, 5, 2. I don't have to repeat that. 5, 5, 8. Okay. And 5, 5, 3, I believe. Okay. So let's say you took that group of numbers. You think this double is going to be hot for the next day. Well, you would be correct. It was hot. 5, 5, 6 actually came September 23rd, your midday game. 5, 5, 6 right here. Okay. All right. So you got two different pattern structures here. Okay. You got your false trips. Okay. And then you have your doubles here. All right. And that should be a good starting point for you guys in Georgia. Okay. But there will be more, but you keep it simple. You don't overwhelm yourself. Okay. All right. Now let's break into the next day. This is all just for one day. So 3 hits. I think that's pretty darn good. Okay. So September 23rd, we had midday 5, 5, 6. You notice I did the +1, -1. We did a 7, 2, 3, +1, -1. And you guys, your night game 8, 9, 3, +1, -1. Okay. So again, we're going to, I told you guys, if you guys see mirrors or doubles, okay, pay attention. Now I did see this, want to point this out. There is a false trip here, but there's a difference here. Okay. Want to make sure you guys know that. You notice how these were mirrors here, right? I'm going to take you to the night game really quickly. And I told you guys, you know, pay attention to whatever's going straight across, right? When you see that. Because these are doubles, make sure you pay attention to the doubles itself, okay? And if you were to do that, just like we did it here, you notice these are 9 9s here, right? So I would go 9 9, just literally, if you wanted to do 9 9 4, if you think that false trip would hit, 9 9 3, 9 9 8, 9 9 7, anywhere that touches, 9 9 6, 9 9 5, 9 9 8. Okay. Well, if you did, guess what? 7 9 9 hit the next day, September 24th. Yes. 7 9 9. Okay. So again, if you wanted to use that 8 9 3, you know, just to give yourself an option, because remember, when the false trips, I noticed a lot of times they are. But I did notice there was doubles just like these, okay? So they actually went off with the double and they used one of the digits around. So you guys had that 799 September 24th evening, literally the next evening, okay? Let's go back a little bit to September 23rd, your midday game. So of course, again, I would have just thought to play the 106 and the 156, which could still be. Now here's another pattern or something that kind of threw that off. They kind of went like the doubles, and they actually used the mirrors themselves. So you literally can go use the mirrors and then use the numbers around there. Okay, so that's 2 different types of workouts, or 2 different patterns right there. So 505 could have been something. Okay, 506, 501, all right, 502, all right, 503, and again, I have 505 already, okay? So if you were to hold on to these, now this one, it came a couple days later. See how this played September 23rd? Well, this played September 25th. It was 2 days later, midday. Okay, so be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? But it did come out midday, and it came out again 506, literally just using what was here in the middle column. So this is what I'm saying. You guys make sure you're paying attention to your middle column, whether they're mirrors, doubles, if they're connected to a trip or not. Could be telling you some really cool patterns, you know, that you may want to pay attention to. But I like this, Georgia. I hope you guys get a good benefit. Make sure you study. Make sure that you're writing out your grids. I know some people say, oh, I don't like doing all that work. Well, honey, you're going to miss patterns if you don't, okay? If you thought this was really helpful, definitely give it a thumbs up. Share if you like, okay? Awesome if you do, especially you know some people in Georgia that can use this information. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And definitely take a look at the membership where we go even deeper. We have daily pick 3 predictions and our own lives that we do Fridays. So yeah, you guys make sure you come on over. Don't be shy. All right. Well, anyways, Georgia, I hope this helps and you guys be blessed. All right.